before we leave?
No, sir.
Nobody? Everybody's got them?
Yeah, just the one, right?
Yeah, one should be fine.
Perfect.
I can't wait.
Yeah,
They're gonna
good.
be the best pitters.
Gonna build an army.
Oh yes, I have the method to train.
Sorry?
Let's go. Go to 55 miles per hour until we hit the freeway.
I really love the way this car looks.
It does look very nice. It sounds good too.
Also handles nice.
Oh yeah.
It's probably the best all-arounder. Eric, tomorrow, Explorer.
You get to use it or what?
Yeah, I guess we're gonna have some that and Caracaras.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting.
They left.
My apologies.
Craigie, we made a wrong turn.
Stick with the program.
Yes, sir.
As I keep saying, Crikey is right.
Thank you, sir.
Gonna take the right off ramp on the Dutch London.
I don't know if he realizes it's not a compliment.
Yeah, I don't think he does.
Crikey just means like almost like an oh shit, like it's a surprise.
Yeah, that's what it means to me. Like, it means to me in that like, damn, like that kind of situation.
Just wow.
Yeah.
But crikey, you know?
Uh-huh.
Do me a favor.
Here I can.
Yeah.
Set the speed limiter to something. All right. Now keep it on until we get to wherever it is we're going. I want to know if I get into... Actually, swap seats. Jump in the back real quick. Oh, it does stay on. That's perfect. We can enable a... So I think we should be going 60 and they go 61, 62. Keep it on. That way we can tell them exactly when to turn towards us.
Where do we want to take this to?
Over here is fine.
Just be advised, this active runway. There's an airplane behind us.
You can just probably go to the right over here, to the west, maybe.
Here is
Might
fine.
get plane interference in that. That's good.
All right, line up in 2 lines, but second line to the left-hand side. Sky, position up here. The CVPI is on the left-hand side, reverse.
You need the person behind me to back up.
All right, this works. All right, everyone out. All right, everyone over towards me. Little painted green area. And y'all be on the double yellow line.
Same form, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen.
Switch on over there, Craigie. So we're like kind of in the middle.
Yep.
How's everyone doing this morning?
Doing good. How you doing, sir?
Great.
Fantastic,
I'm doing
sir.
okay. I'm doing okay. No complaints. No complaints. Not yet, at least.
We're gonna
Not
turn
yet.
that okay into a great.
I hope so. I hope so. Sorry, I have a bit of a cough. So today, if I recall correctly, we're going to be going over two things. The first of which is going to be pitting, and then the second is going to be spiking. All right. Now, I will happily take lead on pitting because I feel as though I have a fairly decent approach to showing people how to do so. But more importantly, although pitting seems very straightforward for the most part, here within the city, there's some nuance to it. It's not as easy as it seems sometimes. And sometimes it may even be impossible or feel impossible. That being said, anyone know what pitting is? Who should I pick? Who is first? All right. One of y'all, speak first. It's up to you.
Well, pitting maneuver
A pit is when
Yeah, go ahead, do this.
You know what, Judas? You were the loudest. You go.
a pit is when you hit the back, left or right of a vehicle and spin them out in a controlled and safe-ish manner.
All right. Now, if y'all have previously referenced your SOPs, who can authorize a pit?
IS ranking officer on duty.
Not
Or the
quite.
lead- Or the
See,
lead
it's
on
a
the chase.
Senior officer or highest on the call?
Yeah.
It's high
correct.
speeds and has to be command plus.
Correct. So specifically, just to clarify, it is senior or the highest ranking on call. So if the highest ranking is an officer, and everybody on the call is an officer, at that point you'd sort of defer to whoever's primary to make that call. You wouldn't swoop in as a backup unit and immediately just determine, I'm going to authorize pitting without having any of the prior knowledge. You'd want to, ask that of somebody who has the full story from the beginning. Right? Now, that being said, what are some things we have to take into account prior to initiating a pit or even considering a pit?
Environment, speed, safety.
Totality of the situation.
Civilian presence.
Yeah, all of that.
Risk versus gain.
100%. Right? Hey, are we going to, or let me rephrase. If you pulled somebody over originally for doing 60 and a 55, and for whatever reason they fled from you, this vehicle is not reported stolen, there's nothing outside of the fact that this person just did not stop. And then you quickly realize that y'all are doing 150 miles an hour within the city, right? And while, yes, that is incredibly reckless, do you think it's worth escalating to pitting within city limits as a result?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Negative.
No. In fact, we'd likely call the pursuit off beforehand, just because what started as a $300 citation now is not worth pursuing this person and risking the lives of others. It just isn't, right? That being said, I mean, specific according to SOPs, obviously you need to ensure that if you were to pit an individual, that the area in which they are likely to go is clear and safe for a vehicle to actually go there, right? You don't necessarily have to consider, like a sort of heavily wooded area, right? If they were to hit a tree, not at high rates of speed, to be clear, but as long as it's not sort of personal property, as long as it's not an actual person in the area, for the most part, you're gonna be good.
So as long as no one can sue us, we can safely pit.
I mean, I don't necessarily want to word it like that, but I feel like that would cover the gist of it. That would cover the gist of it, right? But also, we're not going to be pitting off of like, what is it, Buenavino Road, where there's like a massive cliff that leads down towards Great Ocean, and they're going to go tumbling down, right? Because even if we have the ability to pit, you should only be pitting when it is safe to do so, right? You're not going to send someone down a mountain, or if someone's deciding to scale Chiliad, you're not going to pit them off. they could very well end up dead, and that would be excessive force.
Right, because yesterday, as we were told, that not because you should, that means you could. No, that because you can, that means you should.
100%. There's a lot of things we can do. However, despite that, there's a lot of things we should not do just because we can. Now, this was briefly touched upon, but when can or who can authorize high-speed pits exceeding 100 miles an hour?
Command
Sorry,
plus.
oops.
Okay. It is listed as Command Plus. And when do you think stuff like that would be authorized?
On very serious, on very dangerous crimes.
Give me an
serious felonies.
example.
I would say anything with attempted murder, assault with a deadly weapon.
Offenses against like LEOs or EMS.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Very reasonable. Would y'all also consider, you know, if an individual is utilizing their vehicle as a weapon?
Yeah.
You think that's
assault with
appropriate?
Yeah.
Yes.
If he starts to hit to hit individuals and purposely use his vehicle as a battering ram, then I think I command as authorization to issue a pit command.
100%.
Order.
Let me give y'all a hypothetical. You don't have to raise your hand. You know, just sort of speak your mind. This hypothetical is, what would you do if you were primary in a pursuit? The individual's driving recklessly throughout the city, and at some point they strike a civilian who was on a crosswalk. That person goes flying. You dedicate an officer to staying back with that injured person. You can tell that the officer who stood back can tell that they're badly injured. They communicate that over radio to let you know the severity of the circumstance. But then, again, as primary, as you continue pursuing, would you make the call to request for permission for high-speed pits?
Can I ask a question first?
Sure.
What's the original charge, though?
I was gonna same thing.
We'll say the original charge was... Actually, we'll sort of go back to the original situation at hand.
For the citation?
60 and a 55.
Oh, no, I would call it off right away. I would break it off as soon as he injured the person.
Okay, well, let's go back to what was said earlier. Would you not have, you know, requested permission for high-speed pits now on the basis that they struck a civilian?
Oh, if this...
Isn't that a felony to
It'd be
hit
attempted
and
manslaughter,
run?
no?
Yeah.
Yeah, manslaughter, hit and run. That would be a. Is that not a felony?
Yeah, I guess...
I mean, it could be considered assault with a deadly weapon. Vehicles are considered as a weapon, so there is that to consider, right? But you now have to sort of separate the original reason for the stop and how that, you know, you made your best effort to get them to stop, right? Let's even say within 2 minutes of this occurring is when the civilian got struck. They're now fleeing from that, right? Do you think it would actually be appropriate to break off at that point?
I don't. think
Negative.
so.
I don't think so, no.
Felony hit and run is causing injury or death without identifying yourself to the injured party. At
Correct.
that point, that's a felony.
Correct. But that's not even so. You'll actually see if you specifically look at that charge, the charge that I bring up or have referenced in meetings before, because a lot of people don't actually understand it. It's not the actual act of hitting and running. It is the act of not identifying yourself and leaving the scene. Believe it or not, you would be unable to charge someone with hit and run or felony hit and run if the person who struck that person said, "Hey, my name is insert name," and then left. Believe it or not, that is not a hit and run. Listen, I didn't define these things in the penal code, all right? But if you identify yourself, it's no longer a hit and run.
But then, in
But
that
specifically,
case, couldn't
you would be looking at assault with a deadly. For striking an individual with their vehicle, right? But that's neither here nor there. It seems everyone here has the gist of it, you know, regarding when it is appropriate, even if something originally started as something minor, right? And the opportunity existed to call it off because it's not worth risking the lives. But then that person actually injures somebody. How it goes essentially from, you know, this is something minor to at this point we're locked in on this because they have now fucked somebody over, right? They injured an innocent civilian completely uninvolved. But you ask for permission for a high-speed pit, right? Do you do anything? Do you do anything prior to actually following through with a high-speed pit? Sterling?
I would warn them through the intercom. If they continue to flee, we'll use force to stop them. Like a pit maneuver. Stop or you'll be pitted, for example.
That's exactly what I was looking for. You have to remember that within the capacity of our job, you want to ensure, within reason, there are some things that we're unable to communicate, but you want to ensure that you are doing your best to communicate the consequences of actions, right? Because if you do so, these people will not have an excuse to be like, well, I didn't know. How didn't you know when I communicated over megaphone, which is incredibly loud, that we would do this when we told you we would do this, right? You can't be surprised Pikachu when you were told the consequences of your actions, because again, something that started as something minor escalated to something major because they fucked up. They were then given the opportunity to surrender. They failed to do so, right? And you communicated that to them. At this point, there is no reason to not follow through with a high-speed pit when it is safe to do so. Just remember that. If pit box spike is cleared, you always have to remember, even if it's not explicitly said in the back of your mind, when PBS is said, you need to just think about when it's safe to do so. If I were the one authorizing PBS, I always make it clear. PBS is authorized when safe to do so. But other people won't say that, but in your mind, you should always have that there. All right? So, I'm not necessarily going to go over the spike-related stuff, because I'm not going to do the spike-related stuff. But what we're going to do here is we'll probably get two... Yeah, we'll do two concurrent pitting sessions, probably one on each runway. And we're going to have our vehicles locked at 60 miles an hour. We'll have the speed limiter set to that. And then we'll have the CVPI behind us that is, you know, authorized to pit. We'll have y'all be at 61 or 62. And the way we're going to do this is whoever's driving the Taurus in front of you is going to sort of monitor your positioning and then let you know when to go for the actual pit. So let me move these vehicles around just so I can sort of actually, I'm going to move this one here. Sterling, I'm going to need you to move real quick.
Gotcha.
Actually, I'm going to talk on radio just so that there's no confusion. So you're going to have sort of staggered positioning. Obviously, when you're pitting, you can't be right behind the individual. So again, the Taurus directly to my, well, not directly to my left, but in front of me to the left, we'll be doing 60 miles an hour. This vehicle will be at either 61, 62. We'll continue at a steady pace until you inch forward. And whoever is in the Taurus will let you know when to cut left to strike the rear bumper. Now, again, unfortunately, because of, you know, some city limitations and whatnot, it may not look like you're going to strike the vehicle, but remember, there's a ram bar. It's not just your bumper, which is why we're going to try to let y'all actually realize the distance at which you need to do these things so you can become more familiar with it. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right, give me a second. I believe if I were to set this to 62 miles an hour, I believe it'll stick for the next driver.
It should, yeah.
Okay, so this is set at 62. All right, give us a second. I'm gonna set them all to 62. All right, so we should be able to. Ooh, apologies. We should be able to demonstrate here. Just trying to figure out the best area to do so.
Oh, we got binoculars.
I wish it was daytime out. It would make it a bit easier to see.
We can talk until then. Let me talk.
So what if, like, do you see that radio tower over there?
Yeah.
I'll call you back in just a second. Okay. No, I guess not. It'd probably be good for you to come down here and get yourself familiar with them, though, since you'll be training them. Okay, sounds good. Right. So, what if you put everybody up on the... Mind you, this is once day comes. Put everybody up on the radio tower, and then use that runway in front of the radio tower to, like, demonstrate so they can see properly. They can use binoculars and stuff like that.
How many people do we have?
7.
So
We can take 2 at a time.
7. Shit. Actually, instead of... Okay, what if we do this? What if we have everybody between the CVPI... Well, not everybody, but, like, you know, 4 of them in a CVPI, and then the other would have 3, and then we just run two things at once, even for the demonstration, because I think being up close and personal is probably ideal in this situation.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, we'll just do that then. The only thing is all right, tell you what, I'm gonna have to leave you 2 behind. We'll do 1 demonstration with 4 of them in there, 3 of them in here. That way everybody fits.
That's all right. I mean, that's perfectly fine.
It's a numbers thing, unfortunately. All right. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Somebody drive the CVPI directly in front of me. And then I need all cadets or recruits to jump into the CVPI and my car, because that should be able to accommodate all 7. Oh, Parky, get into the CVPI in the back. And just remember, the speed limiter is on. I want you to keep it on. I just want y'all to be sort of up close and personal, especially that being dark out, it's going to be a little difficult to see. But come around this way.
Seatbelts on, everyone.
So when I want you to be... yeah, you can be there, actually. When I say go, I'm going to... or we're both going to accelerate. I'm going to be slower than you. I should be able to take off faster because this is all-wheel drive. I'm going to evaluate your positioning, and when I say go, what I want you to do is swerve left towards my rear bumper. And again, I need you to remember that it may not seem like you are close enough, but if I'm telling you your positioning is proper, it's going to be based upon what I'm seeing. Okay?
10-4.
All right. So let's start rolling. I'm gonna get up to 60, so I will be slower. Just slow down. There we go.
It's kind of zoom.
And go. Now, in terms of positioning, from what you could see, were you directly on the vehicle, or were you a little distance behind?
I was on your left rear wheel. Was that your wheel?
So when I had originally said go, you were a little further back, We're gonna do the same thing. I just don't want to run out of room. Actually, you know what? Here, flip around to the south again, or southeast. And we're gonna do the exact same thing. All right, let's start rolling. And go. And what was the positioning there for you?
It's about the same thing.
All right, so consider this. This is at a relatively, what I would consider slow 60 miles an hour. Remember, we are clear to pit pretty much 100 and below. That gap will increase significantly. But for the sake of training here, obviously we're going to keep it relatively low. In fact, we'll do one last thing. We're going to head back to where Sky and Barrack are. We're going to turn the... While you're heading there, set your speed limiter to 90. Or correction, 92. Were you able to do so?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. We're going to do it again, but we're going to do it at 90 miles an hour. And go. Go.
We will pit.
Oh yeah.
And what was the positioning there for you?
You were ahead of my car just a little bit.
So, like I said, the one thing to be mindful of is the fact that the faster you're going, the larger the gap. Again, you sort of have to take into account the fact that there's that ram bar in the front. And the other tricky bit is, you know, sometimes it's going to vary person to person. It's something completely out of our control, but it's just something you got to deal with. But does everyone understand, you know, given the few examples here, exactly what we're doing?
Here, firm.
All right, perfect. Go ahead and set the speed limiter to that vehicle back to 62.
It would be cool if there was like a traffic enforcement division that specialized in like pits and spikes and maybe had a certification for it. That'd be cool.
I agree. I agree.
Thank you, guys. This is
All
where
right,
the
so what we're going to do
experience
now
comes
is
from.
we're going to be running 2 simultaneous groups. Barrack, I imagine we should probably utilize 8 and 9 for the 2 separate groups and letting them know when to go for pit.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So I will stay in this one. Barrack or Sky is going to drive the other Taurus. We are going to split y'all into... Barrack, you think we should have them... Actually, yeah. We'll have y'all load up into one CVPI with 4 people and another CVPI with 3. That way y'all can be present
Yeah. Since you already drove,
for
David, you might
all
as
of
well,
the pitting, since we can only run 2 simultaneous
Oh, I
sessions
just-
You
here.
guys want to drive?
Yeah, somebody else should drive.
You
I
just
just
want
did
to?
it first.
Yeah, sure. Thanks.
Let's do this.
It's fairly easy, guys, with limiters on. Honestly,
All
no
right.
stress.
So the vehicle to my left, we're gonna go ahead and swap up to frequency 9.
Copy.
Yeah.
864 radio check.
And 2.
826 radio check.
10-2.
10-2.
We should be able to utilize the actual runway here. You know what? We can utilize this area here. This is almost as long. So, who's driving now?
Judas.
All right,
873.
Judas. When I say go, we're going to accelerate. Actually, I'll have you accelerate first. I'll catch up with no issue, but I will be slower than you once we do get to our max speeds. As you know, as we had gone over before. When I say go, what I want you to do is swerve towards my rear bumper. Even if it doesn't seem like you're going to strike my vehicle, trust and believe that that ram bar, especially if I'm seeing it where I'm seeing it, is going to strike my rear bumper, okay?
10-4.
All right, go.
Distance in front of the vehicle.
Slow down just a moment and accelerate. Oh.
Sorry.
Keep going. Okay, and go. All right. In terms of positioning, how did that look?
It looked right on to me.
And it likely will at these speeds. We're gonna circle around and just turn around here. We're gonna do the exact same thing. We're gonna do this a couple times, then we'll probably increase it up to 90. All right. We'll start in 3, 2, 1.
Let's go stop that criminal scumbag. Get it. Bit approved, Bobo. Bit approved.
And go.
Oh, you make it look too easy.
Nicely done.
Very solid, by the way. Very
Been
solid.
successful.
Thank you, sir.
I didn't want to utilize the runway, but I'm a little scared on this shorter of a stretch here. So we're gonna bump this up to 90, so you can likely see more of the issue that I'm referring to. So right now we're gonna turn around. I want you to set your speed limiter to 92, maybe even 93, and I'll set mine to 90. All right, mine's at 90. I'm turning around.
Okay, mine is set.
All right, come back to the northern side. All right. Let's start accelerating. And go.
Been
All right.
successful.
How did that positioning look, Judas?
I'd say it was pretty much right on. Like, I'd say the ram bar was definitely what got it.
All right, perfect. Now, I do hate to bring this up, but if Crikey were driving this car, it'd be a whole different ball game. Okay, whole different ball game. I mean that in the most. I mean that in the most respectful way possible.
I understand, sir. Don't worry about it.
Crikey, you know what? Here, jump in my car into the driver's seat. The thing is, I'm going to need you to call when they are to, go for the pit, because it's, it's going to be highly dependent on when you would see the, the collision.
Copy. Are we sticking to 90?
Yep. Yeah, we can stick to 90.
All right. Let's start cruising.
Just go a little slow, because it takes a while for...
Yeah.
All right, go, go, go.
All right, let's go.
Now just hold it down, hold it down.
Ugh.
Good shit.
How did that look?
Not as bad as I thought. It's definitely Crikey brain, but it was pretty good.
We were definitely going slower. That looked more in the 60s than 90 for me.
60s, low 70s.
I might need to hold that. Yeah, I'll need to hold
All right,
that accelerator.
let's do that again. Yep, we'll go back to where we started. We'll do that again. Judas, what I'm gonna have you do is accelerate first, because we're losing sort of a lot of runway just on the inability of the CVPI to catch up, and we're going too slow. Then you catch up. So start accelerating now. Crikey, go. Just hold it down.
Mm-hmm.
All
Yeah,
right,
my brain
Judas,
always
slow
knows
just a
coming
bit.
across.
Okay, now accelerate at full speed, and Crikey, let him know when.
Copy. Go.
How was that distance?
That was definitely crikey brain, but again,
Yeah.
like, it's not too bad.
Yep.
You were a couple yards behind him in my eyes.
Yep.
I had to slow down for a bit there because I think I was going way
Yep.
too fast for you. I just let go in the last second there for you.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing is, you know, because this is all, not unfortunate, it's fortunate. This thing is all-wheel drive, so taking off, it sends it like a rocket ship.
Hell yeah.
All right. Crikey,
Yes, sir.
into the CVPI you go.
Let's go.
You want us to repair these vehicles at any point? You think it'll be alright from the few pits?
We should be good for quite a
Okay.
while. Crikey will drive the CVPI, and we're gonna turn around and head south.
Are we doing 90 or 60, sir?
We're gonna do 60. So set your or you need to be 62, 63. I'll be at 60.
Locked on to 62, sir.
All right. Let's reset.
Copy.
Might as well start way back here for some extra space.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Thank you.
All right. Let's start rolling.
Let's go. Let's get him. Got this. Crikey brain on top. Let's do this. Crikey brain. Crikey brain.
Go.
Right now for me, it would
Go,
be
go,
good.
go. That's it.
How'd that look
That's
for you,
perfect.
Crikey?
Honestly, that was perfect. Like, you got me right as the bar of my car was up against the taillights of your car.
Perfect.
Lined up, brother.
Now that's a relatively easy one. Let's go ahead and bump it up to 90, and you be doing 93. You know,
Copy.
fuck it. We're going all the way back. I don't want to run out of space here. Is your speed limiter set to 93?
Not yet, sir. Let me give that
All
a
right.
crack. I tried just then, but I didn't want to drive into the fence, sir.
And just remember, this is like under most ideal circumstances, driving in a completely straight line, no other vehicles on the road. There are no turns here, right? Sometimes, like, you know, in a pursuit, the only opportunity we have to pit a vehicle is when they're slowing down for a turn. All right. Start accelerating.
Let's go, Craig. You got this.
We got this. Got this.
Now.
Go, go, go. Good.
How far was that, Crikey?
Nah, I think that was pretty good, sir. Even with my brain, you got me right as my wheel was pretty much right here. That's when you got me.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, it's not so bad when you're the one pitting as much as when you're the one being pit. All right, we'll run that back one more time. Let's just reverse in this direction. We'll send it down, and we'll do another 90-mile-an-hour pit, and then we'll go ahead and. Is there anyone else in the vehicle?
That is Larry.
Okay,
Yeah, me, sir.
perfect. All right, start accelerating.
Let's do this.
Crikey brain.
Let's go, Craig.
Yeah.
You got this.
Northbound runway 1.
Been approved.
It's actually
Got it.
runway 3.
I just,
Now.
Runway 3 or runway 1?
Very solid pits.
That one looked good on me.
thank you. That one was a bit off. I hesitated for a second because I wasn't near your car, but you said go.
Mhm.
I went.
Yep. So, truthfully, because of that specific issue, a lot of it does really come down to trial and error. Because again,
Yep.
you know, there's a difference between you driving the vehicle being pit and me driving the vehicle being pit, right? And you don't know who's in the vehicle in front of you. You know what I mean? So a lot of it does come down to trial and error. Like that is genuinely reality. Like you could be doing your absolute best, and sometimes it doesn't really matter. Sometimes it doesn't matter. All right, Larry,
I can-
set it to 63. Yeah, mine set to 60. Now we can actually turn here. We don't need as much room for this.
For limiter set to 63.
Perfect. And you can start accelerating.
You got this, Larry. Show me the real bosses.
Now.
Make it look too easy.
That look normal? Were you like
Yes,
on the
sir.
rear bumper? Perfect. And I imagine we don't necessarily need to do that again, right? It's more so the higher speed pits to demonstrate the actual issue that most people have.
Yeah.
All right, let's flip it around. Set yourself to 93.
Limiter set at 93.
Perfect. And you start accelerating first. Go.
Oh, they're trying to line us up. Get him. We're racing for pinks here.
Now. How'd that look?
That looked good. I think my push bar was just at your rear tires.
Perfect.
Are you sure you're not a senior officer just in disguise, Larry?
All right, we're gonna do it again. Actually, you know what? Turn your speed limiter off.
Ooh.
Confirm.
Oh, baby.
We are going. We're just gonna go, and I'll just tell you when. I'm gonna be doing somewhere in the 90s, though. I'll tell you that much. All right, you
Just kinda
accelerate
use your
first.
judgment after you say go.
Yep.
Confirm.
You go first. There we are.
Training wheels are off. Doesn't help that the Taurus is faster.
Hold on. Wait. Did you turn your limiter off?
Yes, sir. This thing's just slow as shit.
Yeah, yours is just too fast there.
Yeah.
We'll
Once
ride
you hit
away,
about
it's fine.
75 in this, it really slows down on the acceleration.
Really?
It's
Yeah.
pretty
Jeez.
bad.
Yeah.
All right, let's turn it around. And do that again. Just double check that the limiter wasn't on, because I was at my limiter. I increased it by 5 miles an hour, and then you were not moving any closer. All right, you
This thing, once
accelerate
hit about
first.
80, it just like slows down quite a bit.
All right, you go. Go. How was that?
That was beautiful.
Perfect.
First push bar was right at the middle of your rear tires.
That is solid. That is very
Bloody
solid.
amazing.
I
And
think this
we
thing
need-
is
we-
acting like it has a limiter on though. It did stop at 93 and I turned it off and back on and off again.
Yeah, it definitely looked like in the first run that you had one on, because it wasn't even like a slight slowdown. It was like straight up, you were definitely gonna get gapped.
Yeah, I toggled the limiter a couple times there and it's still saying it's off, so I'm gonna have to be going over 35. So it's definitely off, but it's feeling like it just stops at 93.
Interesting.
So if you're losing a race, sabotage your opponent like you did. Easy wins.
What channel are we on?
For this we're on 9, but you cannot be on the runway while we're doing this.
No, that's fine. I don't know what we're up to.
Okay, TLDR, I'm in my vehicle doing 90 miles an hour. When I, know that they would strike the rear side of my vehicle, I tell them go. They swerve towards the backside, pit me, and we're just trying to get them to sort of acknowledge that, the ram bar is gonna be doing its best to accommodate Bubbles.
Yes. Okay. All right. All good.
And then the other group is on 8.
Okay. I'm gonna bounce between the two. If you need me, please don't hesitate to call for me. I've been gone all weekend, so
No,
I'm
you're
for
good.
some
You're
catch
good.
up.
Don't worry.
All right, awesome.
All right, let's
Have a
go
good one,
back.
sir.
I'm going to be at the top end. I'll be at 95 this time. Are you able to see if your limiter's actually off now?
It is accelerating above 93 now.
Okay, perfect. So we're gonna do that again. I will be limited at 95. You keep your limiter off, okay?
Confirm.
All right, you accelerate first, just so that we don't have to go down as much runway.
Are they gaining on us?
All right, I'm gonna stay at this speed. You're gonna have to slow. All right, and go.
Ooh, that was nice.
There was a
clean.
pretty good gap there.
Clean.
That was
Yep.
amazing.
Okay. Give us what you suspect the distance was. So park your vehicle, you know, sort of.
Probably right here, to be honest.
So
About
this distance.
Maybe a yard at most.
Oh, got it. So sometimes, like I said, with the whole trial and error, the entire thing is just making sure you try different things, right? If I'm going for a pit on you, and when I did it originally, I swerved behind your vehicle here, right, and nothing happened, then the next time I attempt, I'm gonna try it a little closer, or a little closer, and sometimes you gotta be real close. All right, and again, unfortunately, it's sort of out of anyone's control. It is what it is, but we gotta do what we gotta do. All right, so let's have everyone cycle out. So we'll get Judas in the driver's seat. We're gonna do this where you do not have a limiter on, but I do at 95. And I will tell you when to go. And yeah, start driving. Oh, wait. You're good. You're good. Just accelerate.
Go.
Don't do it. We're gonna run out of space. Turn around
Pit
here.
him in the water. Pit him in the water.
So you had that first gear issue, because you accelerated like a bat out of fucking hell.
Yeah, I was ripping.
All right. Start accelerating.
Did you really?
Yeah, 'cause
I have
all
the
my shit
food.
first.
Yeah, I'm my food.
Now. Did that look relatively normal?
Yeah, I thought so. It looked like, again, my ram bar, I would say.
Got it. We'll do one more with Judas. Again, all of these are going to be with no limiter for you guys. Limiter for me at 95.
Copy.
You start accelerating.
Someone's interfering in the pursuit. Whoa. You're good. You got this, Judas.
Go.
Oh, they pin us back.
You're
Sorry.
good. You're good.
I
Don't
almost
worry.
pitted a plane.
Sometimes, like I said, all of that is completely out of your control. Not much you can do about it. Was that relatively normal in the grand scheme of things as well?
Yeah, I believe so. It was good.
All right. Let's get a crikey.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's do this.
Wait.
Cracky.
Ready
This
to
is
Hold
gonna
on.
look interesting. Is there still a plane on the runway, sir?
We'll stick to the left side of the runway here. All right. Do me a
Copy.
favor. Go in reverse. And then drive forward, and then you won't have the first gear issue. Hold
Copy.
on. Wait. Come back.
Coming back.
All right. You can accelerate now.
Copy.
Sir, I'm going to pitch
Go.
you.
Very solid.
Thank you.
Very solid. We're gonna head over to the far south side and do it one more time, and then everybody has had quite a few opportunities to get some time in here. Just be careful because it seems that the others are rolling up.
Copy.
All right, start accelerating.
God,
Yeah,
there's a
Frankie.
reaction today. I'm going to pitch you now.
And go. Oh, there we go.
That one was a crikey brain for sure, because I hesitated.
I think that was just in the bubble. That was good.
All right. So now what we're gonna do is I'm not gonna tell you when to go. You're gonna go when you feel it's appropriate.
Can I try one time without the
Copy.
limiter?
Oh, actually, sorry.
Oh,
I am
yeah.
so sorry.
David hasn't even gone yet.
Yep, David. I looked in the car. I was like, is there 3 or 4 in there? There's probably
Oops.
3. No, we're good. We'll do it one more or a couple times.
Get him, David.
Just throw it in reverse first, so you don't have that first gear issue. And
Got this,
start
David.
accelerating.
Get him.
Go. Oh. So, what happened there was the delay between go. By then you had accelerated to the point where you were up to like my B pillar. So we'll flip it around and we'll do it again. That's a plane.
Shake for a second.
That plane was flying pretty low. I guess airline.
Ah,
All right, start accelerating. Stick to the right side of the. Oh, careful! Stop! 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 Stop!
Plane on the runway in front of us, well left side.
Yep. Stick to the right side of the runway. Right side of the center light. Start accelerating.
There's a plane, there's a plane, there's a plane.
And go. You all right?
Yeah, we're good.
All right, we're gonna do it from this side now that the plane's gone.
even when they're in planes, locals are a pain in the ass.
Yeah, who's
All
letting
right,
these
start
locals fly
accelerating.
planes?
And go. Perfect.
Back up a little bit, go forward again.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna swap over to the other frequency. How's everyone doing?
First gear issues for us.
We're still just going through kind of like medium speed
We're
pitch.
on the last person in the car right now, though.
What was that, Sky?
The last person's doing their pits right now for our group.
A firm.
Rose, you still on frequency?
Yep. Hold on. I'm ready.
Swap groups.
I'm gonna repair
You
it this
guys
way.
put them
Oh,
up in line.
I think this thing is driving a little fucked up.
I'm okay with that. That works.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
You
So
want
we're
me
gonna
to
be
hit yours as well, Rhodes?
we're gonna be swapping groups. So just to verify, y'all are gonna take the 4 that I have, and I'm gonna take the 3 that y'all have.
Correct.
Perfect. Works for me. Just give me a couple minutes with my group, and I should be good. All right, I'm back on frequency. We're gonna do one run where you don't have to fix the car. It's fine. Hop in because it's otherwise gonna delay what we're doing. Hop in the car. I'm not gonna tell you when to go for pit. You're gonna make that judgment call. And I will have my speed limiter on. Just wait for them to stop there.
Playing on the runway again as well, left side.
All right. Yeah, just start accelerating. Avoid the plane. Go for pit when you can. And we'll turn it around. Do that again.
Speed you're going, you're catching, so just pull the trigger a little sooner on the pit.
All right. Try that again.
Right now. A little late on that one.
Let's restart. So when I was telling you to go, what I was really telling you then was like something that was borderline picture perfect. In the majority of those circumstances, you could probably go far sooner than you think. Let's go again.
10-4.
Perfect. Let's reset. Let's have Judas in the driver's seat. Judas, when you jump in driver's seat, just make sure you throw the car in reverse so we don't deal with first gear issues.
Copy that.
There we go, and let's roll. Very solid. That could have likely been initiated like half a second earlier and you would have been perfectly fine.
Copy that.
Let's give that one more go, then we'll swap over to who wants to go next?
I don't mind going next, sir.
All right. Oh, it's raining. Off we go.
Even better. Go, go, go.
Very solid.
Very nice.
Go ahead and reset. Frankie's up.
10-9.
You are up on this one.
Got you, sir. 10-4.
All right, let's do this.
Just remember, reverse.
Yes, sir.
All right, and let's go.
For what you've done, sir, you're getting pitted.
Crikey, that was
Very
a good one.
solid.
Thank you, gentlemen. Stop the scumbag.